This is kind of going to be an extension of Alex's talk from 2 to 240. If you guys were here for that, this is going to be incredibly tactical and not like broad strokes at all. So just going to go over like what you can see from the outside of what we've done. For who I am, I'm the VP of Growth at Hiatus, which is a personal finance fintech app for budgeting, financial products, bill management, subscription management, and all kinds of fintechs. And surprise, I also do some consulting for mobile games, so there's some game design stuff in here. I'm the founder at Logic Isles, so we just developed some mobile games, so there's 2 right there on the Play Store. I'm also a contractor as of like 2 months ago with Sell the Singularity, which has 20 million installs, and they have an insane engagement time, like average of hours per user, which is completely different from fintech. And I've helped on some other games, so surprise, there's going to be, how do I go back? So this is the table of contents. We're going to start with a little bit of strategy, because I think every good plan involves strategy, and then there's analytics. You have to have that. I think we all know that. And this is all in the context of like alchemy to bring analogies together to help with understanding. So there's ingredients, there's tactics, and gold bars is conclusions, so hopefully you can transform whatever growth flywheel you have into something that's more valuable for user acquisition to drive more value per user. So I'm originally a UA manager, like I was hired for that, and then transitioned more and more into product and strategy over time because growth is essentially a factor of maximizing scale at an efficiency constraint, which is usually LTV over CAC. And while originally you may be hired for the CAC side, you realize that the LTV side is really going to kill you if you can't like grow that aspect of the business too. So I started to care more and more about that stuff. And then more recently, you have to figure out what is the roadmap you're trying to achieve, like what scale at what time and at what efficiency, especially in the changing economic environment or interest rate environment. So as those plans shift dramatically, your own marketing plans will change dramatically as well. So you have to just stay in line with that. So there's the LTV equation, and then there's also the risk to take on a CAC. So LTV is an equation, and then we'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, I'm not sure if we do. So in CAC, it's all about managing risk. So with UA channels, you can start with Meta and Google, which is low risk, but then how you choose to take a chance on like CTV or programmatic is something you manage, and that's more on UA, which I won't get too deep into. And similar to product-led growth, it's all about risk-reward in the context of scale. You can use like ICE or RICE or whatever set of acronyms you want. It's all about like impact versus confidence and feasibility. Then you want to use quantitative and data feedback loops. So lessons for making mobile games. Once again, surprise, I'm sorry, this was maybe not included. So some things I've learned with users, it's very heuristics-based. You just kind of do whatever makes the most sense. So for example, for a player, if I'm trying to get someone to go to a certain building, I'll highlight that building. I'll have exclamation marks on the enemies that are chasing a player, and if there's certain icons and someone's like pausing the game, that's an opportunity to explain the game to boost engagement. And for sales, my job is to help them distribute and monetize content. So partnerships are also a great form of growth. So this is starting to go into the UA side a little bit, but I think UA and lifecycle can be very tightly wound together. So if you work with web game sites that can drive millions of plays for you, which drives users to your site, so that's how I've helped them distribute. And in terms of monetizing content, one really great way to insert ads into your app, like I think every app has a publishing ability to it. So if you add ads that are very tied to the gameplay and reward the user to actually watch the ad, I think that's really key to mobile games, but I think that can be, the same can be said for many types of apps. There's bundle offers, so there's ways to add a timer countdown, which is a way to drive engagement. It's kind of like a psychology hack similar to streaks. And then just adding like flashing buttons or something, just like the very obvious stuff can be very effective too. In terms of analytics, so we do go into LTV. You just want to use like some early signals to measure LTV. That's like tied to your UA marketing campaigns, where some things you can measure in a day to 3 days that you feed into the marketing campaigns to measure like what the forecast LTV is. And as you do lifecycle experiments that affect conversion rate, retention, and engagement in affiliates, you want to update the LTV equation over time as your treatment groups start to succeed in your A/B tests. And you want to measure LTV as granularly as you can in the UA context, as whether it's certain channel, like what the quality of users is, and then for retention, it's a matter of like if this user cohort is less valuable than a more valuable cohort, like why is that cohort more valuable? So you want to segment that way. So for the actual tactics themselves, this is an email that we've sent at Hiatus, which is going back to fintech. We found in personal financial management that users are not very good at sticking to budgets and creating budgets or being very proactive. So it's really good to be helpful to them, send it to their inbox, let them know that these are what your subscriptions are, this is how much you're paying for, and if you want to do something with it, just bring it in front of users that action plan, and this is using Braze Liquid Logic to personalize that email as well. So I don't think you need to like talk about it too much, but welcome email is really important to convey like what your product is. It helps adoption. And then also because we have personalized sets of data, we know if someone has a insurance plan that isn't as competitive, so you would send that email, so something like this. This is very popular in personal financial management. It's all kind of based on the NerdWallet model. We've done these push messages, so we can just give a notification, hey, user product is the left one. The middle one is to personalize it, add some dynamic details you can append to a user profile. And the third one's more transactional to tell a user, hey, to help your service, this is what we actually need from you, so that just helps the user get to value as a touch point. We found that a lot of users didn't know how to use the app, so we added this just pop-up when a user first enters. It's also a great upsell opportunity if someone hasn't converted in onboarding. Like if there's a feature we highlight that they would be interested in, it's good to just add a shiny button there to help conversion. And through a quantitative analysis, we found that a lot of users were reaching the dashboard without linking an account. Kind of makes sense because paid acquisition, you have to do a lot more hand-holding since a user probably found you on their like IG feed, and then they're like, within 3 minutes, you're asking for their bank account information. So they oftentimes don't link their account. So you want to give them a prompt saying, hey, please do, because this is how our app actually works. And if you don't see anything, it's not because our app doesn't work, and don't leave a bad review. Like this is the information we need. And lastly, with budgeting, it's useful to just like break it out in a way that's like budgeting is a very broad category. So just giving them a few different options, like to use the tools is useful. So and then this is going to like partnership offers. Making good financial product partnerships is useful for driving both acquisition, but also monetization. So if our mission is to help users save money, there's partners that we can embed in our product to help do so. This is a credit card offer. So if someone sees a transaction and they want to make some cash back, here's like, hey, here's how much money you could be getting back from a credit card offer. And just like laying out a high-yield savings account for people who might not be aware is also useful as just a flat ad. And after we gave tools to our users to manage their finances, a lot of people don't have the literacy maybe yet to know how to use them. So we added a blog or a learn center to do so, and we've monetized that blog itself by doing some self-advertisements as well as testing different affiliate offers to see what people would be interested in. So it's just good to A/B test what is driving the best revenue metrics for your blog, for those placements. Like self-advertisements tend to be actually really good for us. And in conclusion, I think just making and driving growth for apps is a very creative process. The main thing I want to add is to learn the technical stuff. So the more that you know how to be a developer yourself or how to do marketing campaigns, you can be more practical in how you want to go about the creative process. So you don't end up in development hell, and you can do things a little bit better. And at the end of the day, I think you just need to be good at many things to succeed. So while there's a lot of like specialized talks here, I think just being good at everything, being the average at many things is a lot easier than being spectacular at one. So just to be a successful app, I think you just have to be good and try a lot of different things and try a lot of experiments. Cool, so that's about it.